Hello, guys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our daily stock market insights with Miss JD. And today is June 17th, 2020, and I'd like to cover your requested stocks plus the trending stocks that we have as of today. And I hope you had good trades today, guys. And let's see if we have more bullish movements in our trades tomorrow. We'll find out. In the meantime, I'd like for all of us to go ahead and see how our index is performing. Okay, there you have it. Let us see here. So we're, by the way, using a Bollinger Band here as our main indicator, and also we have RSI, and you use the volume right here, and of course the candlestick as our main elements or tools when we make our analysis. Before I get started, I'd like to invite everyone, if this is your first time to watch our video, I'm inviting you to hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're always updated whenever we have new videos. I'm doing this every day, guys, so if you've noticed, we um, review your requested stocks. So if you have some stocks that may not be included on our list today, go ahead and drop a comment because I sometimes record part two based on your request. So if I have a lot of requests, then I grant that. So let us talk about the index. We may have ended the day with a red candlestick in how the market performed. But one thing I can say, it's still considered to be a promising movement because we're higher than yesterday's candlestick. So overall, it's still technically a green because we did a gap up. As you can see here, we had a higher starting price, but we managed to just fill the gap, which is exactly the nature of a stock, right? When it does a gap up, normally it goes back to fill that gap. In some occasions, a gap may be filled after a few days, but in this case, that gap was filled within the day. That is why you had a red candlestick, but still higher in terms of position. So I'd say we still have this area as our support. Okay, that is still our area of support, and I feel that we will continue to bounce for the major stocks in the country. And if this is your first time to hear PSEI, it's like Philippine Stock Exchange Index. That is like a basket where you have all the major stocks in there, and collectively that influences um, whatever the performance of the other stocks, that will influence the overall movement of the index. And let's go ahead and, of course, just to give you an overview, most likely it will challenge this area first. This over here up to this level. So since it's an area, it could be slightly higher or lower because I see like this one, something like this. There you have it. Okay, because you have here and then there's a small gap there and then there's another support formed here, so that is an area of possible resistance. But what I'm saying here is that there could be some more movements or some room to improve in pricing. Let's start with Dito. This one I just saw the candlestick before our review, and I was so surprised because like the entire day it was just very flat. Almost no movement. Then before the like a few minutes before the market ended, all of a sudden there was a big jump in the price. Let's see at what time it happened. See this? It happened around 12:10, last hour. Yeah, last hour of the day. So I will not be surprised because if you're trading this on a much faster time frame, as you notice here, the Bollinger Band is so constricted and it actually gave you that trigger already when it started moving from this point to this point. Actually, this small, actually this is a candlestick that should trigger it, or that should already push for you to um, conclude that there will be bullish actions right after that. So we are now in a 5 minute time frame. So it triggered the upper Bollinger Band. And I've mentioned this in my previous videos that when it triggers the upper Bollinger Band, expect a significant change. It's like, um, when you um, compress something, right? And all of a sudden it explodes, like a bag of water so full, or like a balloon, right? You try to compress the center of the balloon, and then all of a sudden it explodes. Okay, so exactly the same concept. So what happened here is the last hour, then you have that paired, it was paired with good volume. So I would have to say, if we are going to go back to the daily chart, since we now have somehow part of the or 50, is this 50% or 30%, no, 60% of the body of this day's candlestick is already above the previous resistance. So I have a feeling it will continue to move higher, and we might expect some more rally to the upside, okay, for this particular stock. So I'm even thinking that the next possible resistance here would be right at the 3.85 level. Could be here, right? Because I saw this. Let's plot it here first. Okay, let's plot that over here first because I see this. So we have to respect that before we even go higher. So this one used to be your support. As you can see here, this used to be your support. And so if it moves, gives us some more bullish actions, then that will be the first area to challenge. Now I look back, I see this. So I think it will just strengthen our conviction that a possible resistance might be encountered around the 3.57 level. Okay, but overall, I feel bullish for this stock because if you are to zoom out and look at the bigger picture here, where are we? We're still at a very cheap level. Okay, EEI. EEI is revisiting your MA20 line, which again is acting as a support at the moment. Okay, very obvious lines here. Each time this part was hit, there's a bounce that's happening. Look at that. This one too. Okay, and of course this one. So I'm thinking the downward movement for this stock is just retesting that support, trying to establish a more stronger or a stronger support at the 5.03 level. So I feel that you can still negotiate and haggle a few more cents and try to enter at around 5.03, provided you get a confirmation that it's already bouncing at that level. Because sometimes you can also see situations or scenarios like this. You're already there at the support area, but there was a breakdown in the price. But try to look at this. This used to be the bottom, and I feel that that is already the bottom, and we're not that far compared to the potential of how much can you get for staying there long term. Actually, this period is really more for long term investors. So if you are really into um, taking advantage of the sale price of the stocks right now, this is really this is for you. Okay, because some of the movements in some of the stocks, the movements are just good for range trading. So this one, for example, since April, it has been moving just within this range, and I feel that we're still at the bottom because normally a stock would move like this. When it goes down, goes sideways first, then goes back up. I think that's what's happening right now for EEI. Nickel. Nickel here is also trying to revisit your support, and since we started moving higher, your previous resistance will now become your support over here. See that? There, and we managed to break out of that. So that is what Dito earlier was trying to do. It broke out of that resistance. So most likely it will, this one will do this and go back here, retest your support and move back, move higher again. 1.83 is the area of support that we see, which is very near to where it is at right now. So if you don't really mind a few cents difference, um, but for more conservative players, they'd wait for really the support area, and then from there, provision your stop loss levels, and if that gets hit, of course you have to respect that. Otherwise, you'll um, you know this might bother you in your sleep. MPI. As for MPI, the candlesticks are starting to show tiny movements. The body is starting to become smaller and smaller. So I feel that this one could somehow, it's also possible that this is triggering some signs of weakness. And let's see if it touches this, because I'm thinking it's doing like this. Retest that, and then if there's a sign of weakness, then you have a breakdown in price. Because look at this, you are already here, very near your overbought level. Okay, so I have a feeling it will go up here and then break down. Okay, for now, you have two options on how you can play this. Wait for it to get out of 360 first, and then when it gets out, some people would right away play that, or they also would like to wait a retest. So break out and then go back and then move higher. So they would sometimes do that. They wait for it to pull back first, and that's when they enter, because that confirms a brand new support there. Okay. So, or if tomorrow, for example, there's a rejection that's going to happen right here, it will most likely go back and drop up to 3.20 area. You know why I said that? Because I saw this. So if it drops, it might retest your previous, this used to be your support. So it might go back and use that again as your support level. Okay, so uh, we've seen the possibilities for this stock. Okay, next would be SECB. SECB is a little higher, even though it's red. It's higher than yesterday's. I mean, the movement was much higher than yesterday's candlestick. So I feel that I still respect the 100.9 level for the support. It's really very near to where it is at right now. So the chances of the price revisiting your support is really high. So if you want to invest in this stock, you're still at a healthy, cheap level. So nothing to worry, because you have a good potential here in terms of there. The risk to reward ratio is in an ideal state, but you have to also be prepared, because uh, reaching this level again might take some time. Could be months or even years. Okay, but for now, I'd say 100.9 is already a promising area to start accumulating volume. Next one is Cebu Pacific. What is happening? Oops. Let's try ACEPH. Okay, let me. Oh, okay, we're back. Let's go back to Cebu Pacific. For Cebu Pacific, it is currently retesting that support. Good thing for 3 days straight. It just landed within the area of support. So I think this is still at a healthy level, 43.9, sitting at that area. And so if you'd like to just be super sure that this is indeed bouncing at this level, you can wait for a green candlestick. Okay. This one over here almost did that. In fact, there was a gap up that happened today. As you can see here, we ended here. That's why, yeah, we ended here. And then when the market opened, it moved right here, 46.5 against 44.93. So that was a gap up indeed. But the sentiment really was more a decline. It wanted to fill that gap ahead, I mean, right away, the same day. So for me, I think it is still respecting the 3 days straight of stopping at this level. It's respecting that support area, 43.9. And yes, for long-term investors, this is still good. But my recommendation is just wait for the confirmation of a bounce by us waiting for that green candlestick to probably start at 43.9 and then end much higher than that. Then that's your confirmation. ACEPH. ACEPH, let's just hold on to the MA20 line as our support level. Actually, if you can move a little higher, because I see this. Okay, and then some consolidation that happened right here. So I think that is your support level. All right, 2.26. Same concept that I was mentioning earlier. Sorry about the dogs. So if the price starts at 2.26 and the sentiment happens, okay, and the sentiment, for instance, starts at 2.26 and the movement happens above that, then that's good. One thing to also take note of here is that there's foreign buying that happened today. So most likely there will be some more movements uh, to the upside. So far, this is very, very near the support area, which is your MA20 right now. So that's still considered to be a good area to buy. AGI. AGI, I'd say be extra careful. This is a sign of weakness and it's starting to create a lower high. So when it bounced, it did not exceed the previous high over here. So now I would say it's a threat because you might see by tomorrow, we might see some more declines in this price. And what's not good is that when it created a lower high, most likely when it dips, it will create a lower low. So I'd say most likely it'll drop up to 6.65 level or even 6.53 because that's your support. I mean, that's your MA20 line, which is lower low. This is your previous low. When it drops, becomes lower low over here. So wait for some action around 6.53 first because I see a red day by tomorrow for AGI. GMA7. GMA7 is, wow, June 19th. So X date, if you are into dividend play, make sure you already enter before June 19th, probably tomorrow, which is the day before. And if you want to get out, then uh, do that on the 19th. But do not enter on the 19th if you would like to get a dividend. Because when we see June 19th as the X date, that means that date is excluded. Okay? And then let's say you enter by tomorrow and that would simply mean you're part of it, and the payment date would be July 15th. Now let's talk about the technicals here. Uh, when it comes to the technicals, we're here at the resistance area. We're sitting at a resistance level. This used to be your support. Now it's becoming a resistance. But we don't really know. It might break that resistance tomorrow. We can never tell. The only time I can say and confirm that probably on the first 30 minutes of the day when the price starts at 520 and then most of the action happens higher than that, then I'd say there you have it, a breakout play. But if weakness starts to happen, it most likely will go back to your MA20 line here. Okay, look at that. Used to be your support here, became your resistance, and it's very near your MA20 level. FNI. FNI is attempting to go back to your MA20 as well. That's somehow on a short-term basis. When it bounced, it created a lower high as well. So this is your peak over here, retraced. It moved up again, but the peak is much lower now. So something like this. So you might see. So that is your trend. Okay, it's actually a descending triangle if I am to plot there. So be extra careful. It might go back to your 0.84. Okay, and let us say it starts to move within this range. Wherever it goes first, let's say it breaks out of that, then you have a breakout play there. Okay, but for now, I still see some possible declines reaching the price to as low as 0.84 in the short term. Because as you can see, long term here is there's a big potential for it to reach the 2 peso level or 160, 150 level. Next one is FLI. FLI is just stabilizing, creating a support in its previous resistance area. There you have it. This for 4 days straight. This area has been challenged. Used to be a resistance here. And so if we continue to build a stronger support here, the chances of it bouncing is really high. Okay, so if you want to give it a try, 1 peso would be a good level to try out and see if it will continue to move higher. MBT. Let's take a look at MBT. MBT is actually a bounce. Even though that's a red, it was respecting for 3 days straight your MA20 line. It didn't really fully touch the line, but we all know that it's an area, right? And the pattern is also ascending. So I feel that we are already bouncing, in fact, okay, for MBT. So the nearer you are to the MA20 level when you get in, the better. And also, let's use this as our next resistance, guys, okay? 42.89. So the nearer you are to the MA20, if you want to get in and exit at the 42.89. I'm not saying the moment it hits 42.89 you go out right away. No, something like this. Allow it first to show some weakness over here. Okay, if for several days it's sitting at that area and you see some reds and some candlesticks starting to show a declining body, as you see here, the body starting to become smaller and smaller each day, and then it experienced a breakdown in price. Same is true with this one. When it goes higher again and you see it struggling as it breaks this resistance area, then that would be a very good area to take profit already, because there might be a breakdown that's going to happen right after that consolidation. Okay, this one is the most interesting. Merrymart. Okay, what can you say here? My 1 cent, my 2 cents in one statement. This is a FOMO level. Okay, third day, yesterday I said it's up to you guys. If you want to go ahead and trade this, make sure you trade using a faster time frame. And for those of you guys who still joined, good job. Um, of course, I'm happy to see a movement like this, but really, this is not my game because I don't have the time to watch the market whole day. What I can say here right now, one thing you need to observe, even though we don't have any indicators that we can draw here, because 3 days worth of data is not enough. First thing that I can observe here is that body is starting to decline. Okay, well, there's foreign buying here still, but not really relying on that too much. Your selling volume is here. The selling volume now is much higher than the buying volume, and this is just too high, guys. It's already too high. It's like 300, like 150% increase in the price. So this third day with a declining volume, I would have to say that we're very near the maturity, okay, the peak of this stock. So start considering taking profit if you are already profitable, okay? So let's see that. So that's just my guidance to you. Tech. Let's see tech over here. Come on. Signal. There. Tech is just stabilizing with foreign buying that's happening. I think this is just establishing a brand new support at this level. No one's already giving up their position here. Body of no, the volume is declining as we see 3 days of a red candlestick today. Look at that. I just feel that it is, the potential of this stock is so high that we're still at a very cheap level, come to think of it. Okay. And reversal is, I see a good possibility of reaching reversal or change in direction soon for this stock. Okay. What about Mac? As for Mac, you had a bounce yesterday. I think I included this in our discussion yesterday, and I said it was already bouncing, right? And indeed, yeah, you even have a gap up here. So just be extra careful because your resistance is also very near. This is your resistance right here. Okay. And the reason why I said that, I saw this, right? Plus this one. Okay, so check if you have some weakness built up here at this level. If it does show any weakness, chances are it will go back. But I'd say it will continue to move higher for now. By tomorrow, most likely that's the overall sentiment of the market. A more bullish movement for this stock, challenging your 720 area for resistance. JFC. Where did I buy today? Oh, I added more volume in BDO. I'll add BDO. I need to review that. My commitment to myself. So far, I've been consistent for 4 months now. Each time I have my salary, I already allocate a portion of it for my stocks. Okay, JFC. This one is currently very, very near your resistance. But there's a green today, so let's just wait for it to break. So far, your volume is looking healthy here. Okay, so you see that? Somehow it's building that, it's getting higher and higher. So all we needed to do here for now, don't enter yet unless you break out of the 145 level. That's my take. Otherwise, if it drops, it will go back to your MA20 line, and that's a much healthier entry level. Okay, so just hang in there because it's still trying to gain that, force to break the resistance. And what's good about today's performance is the volume of your foreign buying here. It's already there. Double Dragon. Double Dragon already went down. So it might continue to establish your support at this range. There, very near your MA20 line, which I'm not surprised because in our Bollinger Band, if you have some weakness over there, it will most likely go back to your MA20. Okay, still looking healthy. Okay. What about MWIDE? I saw an interview in ANC yesterday. I think it was just a YouTube video. An interview by Kathy Young, I think. And this guy said that real estate companies are starting to show some recovery. So this could be a beginning of it, right? So let's see. This is your resistance, okay? But where is your support? Support for me here is at this level. Okay, so I think it'll create some stabilization right there first before it goes higher. So by tomorrow, try to negotiate and wait for your entry. If you are really interested in this stock, 6.76 for me is the safer area to buy than where it is at right now. Because looking at the candlestick, there's really some more sentiment downwards here. Even in the bull bear meter of Investograms, it's also suggesting that direction. But overall, let's see DMC as well. I think it's going to bounce soon. Look at that. It's sitting at the MA20. Okay, so another thing to take note of, these are stocks that are badly beaten throughout the pandemic days. Let me just add the DMC here. ACEPH, we're done with that. What about GTCAP? GTCAP is attempting to decline again. Okay, your previous resistance was here, so I'm thinking it will just retest that level. It will most likely retest that, which is actually very near the area where it is at. Okay, so I think it will just stabilize within this range and then continue to move higher. Okay, yeah, that's the sentiment or my thoughts. 469.55 is your support. But again, you have to be extra careful because the first resistance is not that far. It's just right here, 533. Okay. Then BDO. This is where I added more volume. I think I added at 101. Because I thought this was already a bounce, but there was a breakdown in price. I think around the last few minutes of the game here. See? There was a last 15 minutes. I entered at 101 though, because I thought probably here. Let me see. 101. Yep. Because I thought it's this one. See that? But that's fine. Anyway, we're still within the safe area. You have your MA20 line as our shield here. Hopefully it doesn't break that price. But look at that. Very near the bottom. This even did a double bottom at this point here. And so just in case, well, for me, this is one of the more stable companies in the banking sector. And this should be good. Okay. I think I was also included here, but my trade today was not part of it. But at least I'm starting to accumulate volume now. I really am excited for this stock to take off, and I'm willing to wait for that. Let's see. I'm gonna update you guys. I'm gonna update you on the status of this stock. Okay. All right. So in the meantime, on our screen right now are the stocks that we have covered in today's discussion. I'm uploading this now, and hopefully you, yeah, watch it and drop a comment if some of your stocks are not included here, so I can also record part two. And feel free to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the notification bell so you're always updated whenever we have new videos. Thank you guys for watching, and talk to you soon. Bye bye for now.